When you have a soul in the game, you would never do anything unethical. You would never do anything that would violate your principles. What is soul? What is game, right? Game is something that you're truly passionate about, something where it's a good problem for you, something you're willing to suffer for. So when I say suffer, it sounds kind of almost like I feel like, Jesus dying on the cross. That's not what I mean. It's just when you be doing this, you know that there'll be times that you're going to love it. There'll be times where it's going to be difficult and painful, and you are fine going through these painful times. So what is soul? Soul, that is something that is so important and dear to you that like it's part of you. Like so when we talk about Jiro, the guy who makes sushi, making sushi was so important for him that he, the movie is called Jiro's Dream of Sushi, because he thought so much about sushi, how to make the best sushi he can possibly make, that he even dreamt about it. Okay. And in the book, I have this concept that I'm very proud of, because that's probably the most original thought of the book, this kind of idea, discussion of art and craft. So the story goes like this. My brother, my son John, and I were in Venice, and we went to Murmansk factory. And there was this guy was making a horse out of glass. And you have this kind of this bulb of glass, and he takes this triceps and puts them into this bulb, and suddenly in a matter of 30 seconds there is a horse out of nothing, out of glass. And we were so shocked by that, and we were walking on the street and discussing, is it art or craft? And then we realized, when we look at the stores, they all have this horse. So our thinking was, maybe it's a craft, maybe it's not an art. But what I realized, we are looking at that the wrong way. In any creative activity, when you start doing it in the beginning, it's mostly art for you. Because when you repeat something for a long period of time, then it turns into craft. So when this guy was creating a horse, and for us, because he makes probably 50 of those horses a day, for him it's all craft. There's very little risk in it. He knows exactly how it's going to look when he sits down to make this horse. When he started making it in the beginning, for him, the ratio of art and craft was very different. It was mostly art and a little bit of craft. So in any activity, if we do it long enough and just keep doing it the same way, over time, it starts being an art and becomes more and more craft. So it's up to us to change the activity a little bit. So let's apply it to investing. If all you do, just imagine, like this is, I'm going to describe a very pathetic existence. If all you do invest in utility stocks, that's all you do. There's 10, 50, 20 companies in the United States, whatever. That's all you do, invest in those companies, and you do it for 20 years, it's going to be all craft, no art. Okay. So if you grow your circle of competence over time, then you introduce more and more art to it, because there's more uncertainty. There's more things you don't know. In life, you want to maintain this very nice balance, especially in investing, between this. You want to have a circle of competence so you know that you won't make mistakes. But if you stay in this circle of competence all the time, if you don't grow it, you're going to be very little art left in your life. So again, big Buffett. But Buffett buying Apple was him basically expanding his circle of competence. Coming back to soul in a game. So what is soul in a game? I got the idea from Nassim Taleb in his book Skin in the Game. So let's he talked about skin in the game, and soul in the game is next iteration of that. Skin in the game, basically, if I could put it simply, is that when you associate with people, you want to basically deal with people that not only have upside in your relationship with them, but also have a downside. So in other words, when somebody invests with IMA, okay, if I only charge him, if this relationship is limited to the fact that I just charge him fees, I have no skin in the game. The way I get skin in the game is that I own all my liquid net worth is basically invested in the same companies my clients do. So I have skin in the game, because if I do research and I buy a stock A for them and I own the same stock, then I experience the same downside they do. Again, all my liquid net worth is in this, same stocks. So that's skin in the game. Soul in the game is kind of next elevation of this, where what you do is so dear to you, where money becomes secondary, where money is just a kind of byproduct. It's a second derivative of what you do. When you have a soul in the game, you would never do anything unethical. You would never do anything that would violate your principles. When you have a soul in the game, and I keep thinking about the Jiro, Dream of Sushi guy, where all he thought was, he had this incredible focus, and he just thought about sushi. You have this so when you have soul in the game, you're very focused on what you do. you try to be a net positive to the society. In other words, think about it. Imagine you're making sushi, but you wouldn't want to eat it because it makes you sick. So, or you think, you give it to people and it poisons them. It's very difficult to maintain soul in a game if it's not net positive for society. So that's what, and I'm missing a few points, but that's what basically, having soul in a game means to me. Something that is very dear to your heart, that you do this with passion, and it's meaningful. So to me, investing is meaningful because, especially in the environment we're in today, if I feel like if investors just buy index funds, then for the next 10, 15 years, they're going to have a very miserable existence. The returns are very, very miserable. And people come to us with their life savings. So that's an incredible responsibility as well. Anyway, so that's kind of my thinking of that's what it means to have soul in a game.